a brand new start. You've been living on the edge with forever as a pledge. No more giving it up, turning me loose, setting us free. Baby, keeping it real, cause we got what takes for sure. There's no turning back anymore. Can you see it's all a game? Life goes on all the same. If at first you don't succeed, all you've got is all you need. If you believe, then stake your claim.
Hey, hello, Rise and Thrivers. Here we are, another Monday night and a brand new month. It is Monday, August 4th of 2025. It is crazy, and we are Rise and Thrive together. Just in case you're new, let's tell you a little bit of who we are. We are Rise and Thrive together, and we're a vibrant community committed to educate and empower and equip you to get the results that you want through real talk, and then you'll take those real actions. I'm really excited to be here with my favorite co-host and one of my really closest friends, Raquel. Hey, Raquel, how are you today?
Hey guys, I'm here playing around with something. Welcome to another month. We're in the month of August. For us here up north, we know summer is just about over. Sad face. But welcome our new viewers. So excited to have you here as we go through our topic for this month, which is mental fortitude. Super stoked to have this conversation, and I've got my fingers all in your face, but we are excited to have this conversation as we go from August through the end of the year. Our conversations are going to just build upon each other, so I'm excited to get this started. So how was your weekend? We never talk about that.
I know. How's the weekend? The weekend went fast. You know, it's like, I don't even know if it's fast. It was like really like what I needed, but I got to tell you, just in case anybody follows me on Facebook, my personal, I had the like reliving one of my favorite parts of my life, because music and dance is my thing. I went to see with two of my good friends here that I met in Florida, Lisa from Lisa and the Cold Jam, and Taylor Dane, who Lisa is my age, 57, and just celebrated 40 years of music.
Wow.
And then Taylor Dane, who is 60 and has been in the industry for over 30 years. And oh my goodness, like find me on Facebook, Regina Rossi Lamoth, do it, because you walked into this beautiful, beautiful center, this indoor, gorgeous performing arts center in Broward. And at first it's really quiet. And like we got shirts that said Queenagers. My girlfriend made us shirts that were Queenagers. I got my Taylor Dane hat that said, tell it to my heart. And at first it was quiet. And then the DJ came on, because they had a DJ, pre-show DJ, which I didn't know. So we got some food, a little something to drink. And there's like hundreds of people just hanging out. And when you hear your jam, and like this is the music I grew up with. So this isn't like, oh, I just watched hundreds of people just sit there, and I grabbed my girlfriend and we went on the dance floor. And I danced like I was 19, back in the club, 20, 21, 18, like all of that. And I'm not joking. I am going to celebrate that it is me who created, go on my Facebook page, the crowd. It went from just hundreds of people looking to me and her and maybe one other girl, so that we had to get off the floor. And I took a picture from above. There was hundreds of people. Like you were back. It was incredible. My heart was huge. And Taylor Dane, if anybody has not heard her voice isn't even fantastic. It's even better than ever. And she had a live band. You can't go better than a live band. And Lisa did her like kind of DJ thing with these great young dancers. So incredible night. dripped my makeup off my face, and had the best time. So Sunday was more like a resting day. Yeah. So
Nice.
it just connected me to, like, I get who I am. Like, I truly am that. Like, it is an experience. I am an experience. That is who I am.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. How about you?
I kind of worked this
Nice.
weekend. Yeah, we had a table, the NAACP. We had a table at the uh, R&B at the waterfront event. So
R&B, come on.
yeah, that was pretty cool on Saturday. Met a lot of great people. It was nice to see so many people come out and just sit, dance to R&B, new and old. That's
Nice.
my favorite genre of music.
Me too.
Got to see my sister and her boyfriend. My sister came up from Florida for the weekend, so got to spend a few minutes with her, and then they left to go to North Jersey to watch wrestling, live wrestling. So that was cool. Sunday hung out with my sister again and her boyfriend, so that was really nice. Um,
Nice.
I don't get to see her very often because she's down your way, but
Now I
it
got to
was
see
really
her.
cool. It was really cool to hang out with them. Great weekend, but I was exhausted on Saturday just because we were there from 12:30 till 6 when it ended.
Nice.
But a great event. So hats off to the coordinator of that R&B at the waterfront event. Hopefully now it's an annual thing. Absolutely loved it. Had a great time.
Nice.
But yay.
Yeah.
I'd like our listeners to just jump in and just say a little bit about what they did for the weekend before we get into this mental fortitude, or we'll get into it. You guys write it.
Yeah, like, we want to know what's going on. So, listeners, tell us something that you did this weekend. Anything that you want to share with us, because we want to get to know you better. I do want to take a moment because, Rise and Thrive Together has been where we're at this moment, was this awesome conversation and getting to learn, restream, and be here from a very special person, Blanca Perper. And I want to say that especially today because it's her birthday. So, Blanca, happy
Ooh,
birthday.
happy birthday.
Want to give out the shout out to the queen of community empowerment and networking. So it's, just how to do that special one. But yeah, listeners, what's up? What's going on? Tell us what you're up to this weekend, or since we want to get right into it, what are the questions of, or the thoughts around, or anything you want to say about mental fortitude? I love what you came up with. It's not just grit, it's growth. I love that. I do.
Yeah.
I really, really do. So let's jump right into it, sis. I mean, like, this has been the topic that I think, popped through our conversation, and I know really hit you. I'm excited for the guests we have on this month, but, like, let's talk about this mental fortitude. When I say mental fortitude, what comes to your mind?
Um, I think of the ability to focus
Mm,
and overcome and see challenges as an opportunity for growth. I think resilience.
yes,
That's what I think when I hear mental fortitude.
I love it. I love it. I took on, a lot of what you've been doing, so I, like, kind of looked up, like, for our audience, what can we want to say about mental fortitude? And I came up with this, like, overall big kind of an arching umbrella we're going to kind of use for the month of, and, move forward. But it's right there, like you were saying, it's the overarching, like, concept. It's the sum of, like, your psychological strength. It's encompassing the resilience that you talked about, adaptability when things
Mm.
come up, like those setbacks that you were saying, and your emotional control.
Mm.
So it allows you to handle challenges, big or small. And I love this part. I love this part, without falling apart.
Ooh, say that one again.
It allows you to handle big challenges or small challenges without falling apart. So that
Wow.
piece, right? When I was looking at mental fortitude, it was great. It was like, you know, like you were saying, adaptability, and we have some setbacks and the resilience. But the overall arching thing that hit me, that struck me the most, was what we started to tap into last month, which was that emotional piece, right? And people know me, and Rock knows me well. I go to 0 to 60, and it's just part of my personal growth and development that I've been working on for years now. And thanks to the show, it's just getting more peaceful and graceful. But is that without falling apart? And I'm just interested, like what
Mm.
you hear, because you do a lot of stuff. So do I, from the show to all of our separate stuff. Like, you know, to really have that. And I'm just wondering what, you know, when you heard that, because you were like, ooh, say it again, what came to you?
Keep your stuff together. But with that being said, I'm wondering, and either for you or our listening audience, keeping it together, does that mean, or are you hearing
Mm.
that my emotions, I need to keep those in check and not experience or feel them?
Ooh, I love that. I love that. I mean, I've got kind of the deeper answers around that, but I'd love to see what the audience has to say. So we'll take a moment, because when I heard that too, when I read it, it was like, ooh, without falling apart. I'm going to say that most people, many of us, put on that face that we've got it
Mm,
all together, right? We're going
mm,
to come on here, and this is why we started our show. This is real talk. But out in the world, how many of us have, if it's our job, if it's our kids or our spouse, or just everyday life for yourself, that you put on that face because you've got the things to do and you can't fall apart, right? You got to have it all together. When I first heard that, and I was like, ooh, you know, that's what I heard. And it's not that, but it's having some emotional check in, seeing that. Dropping the bomb. Love it. We got sound effects. I love it. Yeah. So that was, you know, really what hit me. I said the same thing when I was like researching this and looking at it. You know, we don't just come up here and talk about stuff. We're really researching it. That hit me the same way. I was like, is that trying to say like I have to put it all, have it all together? No. But it is talking about how our emotions can stop us from really
mm.
going for those goals, for moving forward with the things that matter to us. And I'm just going to share something that Raquel doesn't even know. So, you know, I went to the doctors today. I had this great checkup with my, you know, kidney doctor. I go once a year, check on my little, you know, numbers as being a kidney donor, making sure everything's great, and everything was great. And the bomb, woo, for me, like the emotional control was, I had no idea that my cholesterol was way high up, like
Mm.
like 20 points or so under 300.
Wow.
Yeah, right? Eyes open. So we're not doctors here, but Raquel kind of got that. Now I have high cholesterol. It is part of what I found out hereditary wise. So I know my numbers are much higher than most people. But this number was not my usual, like, oh, 5 points higher, 5 points under. I've had the same cholesterol level since I'm 16. This was like, you know, 60 points higher. And I was feeling things in my body that I just kind of was like, oh, that's from, you know, all the workouts I do. But I know it's not. Like, I know, right?
Mm.
And that's that falling apart. That's that falling apart, because I have to go out there every day, right? And do what I got to do. And I suffered inside. Like, I haven't even told, like, well, Josh knows now, my husband, but like, I didn't tell anybody that I was dealing with these tingling in my hands and the tingling in my feet, which I just made it like the excuse of X, Y, and Z, these palpitations. And it was my sugar. It is my sugar. It's straight up my sugar. I spoke to my doctor about it for a lot. So, yeah. Did I have an emotional breakdown? You know, like, there you go. Could that have had me stop me from coming on to this overarching important conversation of tonight? My mental fortitude is to ensure that our message is coming across. This is for you guys, right? If anybody's ever been through anything, we are out here to share things with you, or you share with us and educate you and empower you. So I didn't. I had a safe place to be upset, a safe place to have a conversation, a safe place to come home. And I did cry. I cried. I beat myself up for a little bit, guys. I did. And the old me would have went and got that ice cream. Thanks, Mark. But the me was like, okay, that's the emotional part. And I really had to stop and think, sis, my life. The past 9 months has been a lot of losses. So I realized all of that emotional eating, all of that stuff that was happening has impacted me in the past 9 months with regards to my sugar levels. So mental fortitude, overarching, thing of coming forward, and the grit. This is what I love. This is what I got about grit. This is the great part about grit, which is like the vital component of mental fortitude, but it's not the whole picture. But I love that it was a vital component of mental fortitude. And it was like the way they described it was like this mental fortitude is an overall physical health and training mindset, while the grit is the specific, unwavering determination to put one foot in front of the other. Just one small foot in front of the other. In those last grueling miles, it's the passion and the perseverance for your overall long-term goals. And I'm just putting that one foot in front of the other because my overall long-term goal is to be on this planet for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
A long time, not for me, but my why is my daughter. My why is to be there for her. My why is to make that impact on the children out there with the book that's coming up and what we're talking about on families and children. I don't want to disappear tomorrow. So one foot in front of the other. And I will tell you those grueling steps when I go back to the doctor in December. You're going to see those points be like, so that's what's going on.
I've got a fundamental question for you.
Yeah.
And that is, what's your first step?
Ooh, thank you. Yay. Well, the first step was I came home and talked to Josh. And the second step was that we created a meal plan.
Okay.
So we have a meal plan, and then we're shopping for that meal plan. He's picking up stuff. I'm picking up stuff. I'm blessed. My husband loves to cook, so I get my cook in there. And then it's meal prepping. I really stopped the meal prepping. I would meal prep and be out on the road, and I have not been doing that. So we got that first step done. And that's just that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your first step, meal prep, getting back to what you did in the past to manage the cholesterol. I don't know if your sugar levels are high or not. But there are times, what I'm hearing is that there are times when more mental fortitude means sometimes we have to go back to the basics. We have to go back to what worked for us in the past, and somehow we got away from it. And that mental fortitude gives us this frame of mind to overcome the obstacles, means sometimes going back to the basics. When I say back to the basics, I'm curious what the audience thinks when I say back to the basics, because there are some people who believe when you go backwards, that means you've fallen. And it's I don't hear back to the basics as that. Sometimes we really do have to go back to the basics because we've lost that fundamental foundation that we had. And we just went and tried and got away from what worked. So I'm curious for our listening audience, drop in the chat. Come on, y'all. Drop in the chat. This is a real conversation. Drop in the chat and tell us what back to the basics means to you.
she wrote, we can keep each other accountable, because she just started some blood pressure meds, right? And she's like, and I want to not be on them. So
Mm-hmm.
she's, needing to walk more daily. And yeah, like that's a great one. I love that you're saying like back to the base. We, like you said, something as a failure, but like all that was missing was the thing that was working. And I just veered off to the other, road, and the path went this way. Yvonne, hey, nice, my friend Yvette came on. Going back is usually necessary to move forward.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So I for those that think when I say back to the basics, that means it means absolutely that. I've got to go back to what worked in order to keep moving and propel me forward. And we've got to keep that first and foremost in our minds. It's just the words that we use. And words in and of themselves are just words. It's the meaning that we give it, whether it's emotional or whether it's your mental fortitude, whatever it is. But I was just curious about why you strayed, and I'm sure there are tons of reasons why you strayed from what was working. Because I know we've talked about it, and it was you had your nuts, your protein drinks, your all of this stuff, your snacks. And let me tell you, folks, this may sound trivial, but that's so important to have it, especially when you're as active. See, Regina and I do different things, yes, but she has a lot more activity in her things than I do. Not that I don't need food, because I have to use this a lot, and I still need to feed, I need to feed this. But like you, I got away from the snack. So what I've started doing is when I go do my workout, in order to be physically strong, I need to be mentally strong, because sometimes my body wants to give out and my mind is like, girl, you can go one more rep. And it's like,
That's the
heck
grit. That's the grit.
no.
That's
And
the
that's the
grit.
body talking, but your body can hold and withstand and keep going a lot longer than we give it credit for. So what I've started doing is making my protein shake in the morning, and
Yeah.
sometimes I'll throw in a yogurt for those of you who are interested in protein. I found a yogurt that has 25 grams of protein. So I mix that with my protein shake and I throw it in there, shake it up, and I take a bottle of water because now it's a little thick and I need to loosen that up with some water. And that's what I take. And I find that I still complain just because I know my trainer loves to hear me complain about stuff. So I just do it. But I find that I'm good to go. I can keep going a lot longer when I fuel my body and I'm also fueling my mind. So let me tell you, I don't know how many of you know, but I've had a rotator cuff injury for several months now. Dare I say it could be in like 2 months, almost a year, whatever. And I say whatever because whatever, right? I'm finally doing what I need to do, like PT. And really, I've cut out a lot of the exercises I used to do because it was my nutritionist said I'm over exercising. I've never heard that. But what I do now is strength training, and I find that's helping a whole lot. And it takes a lot of mental fortitude to do training, to do anything. It takes a lot, but just that strength training, even when there's some discomfort in my rotator cuff, I'm like, nope, let's go. Let me just try it and see if I can do that exercise. So mental fortitude is a lot about resilience and overcoming obstacles. It does not mean I have to shut down how I'm feeling, but I always think, is how I'm feeling really how I'm feeling? I sit with it for a moment to see if my feelings are actually serving me,
Yep.
right? And where is that feeling coming from? That's a part of the mental fortitude is, am I really feeling how I'm feeling? And where's that coming from? And I always ask myself, how is that serving me? Because if it's not serving me, I cannot dedicate too much time and attention to it, because then it slows me down. It takes me down this rabbit hole, this dark path. That's me. And that's how I handle it. But there are days, I'll tell you, in mental fortitude, I'm like, listen, I'm just mentally tired. And then it's like, we'll take a break. and then let's get back on this.
I want to give up this. I want to share with you because we asked the audience. We got some great.
Yeah.
So the
Awesome.
audience is writing in. To me, going back to your original question, right? Chrissy writes, to me, it means getting real with yourself. No excuses. Yvette
I like
wrote,
that.
yeah, I love that one. Yvette goes, going back is usually necessary to move forward, which we said.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the basics, go to foundations. Diane wrote, back to the basics, doing what we know works for us. Works for us, and let's go back to that. What works for us, right? And that is huge. And someone who I don't know who, this is on LinkedIn, said, wow, this hits deep. Mental fortitude really is so much more than pushing through. It's allowing yourself to pause, to feel, to learn from the hard stuff instead of just surviving. Love the reminder that grit and grace can coexist, and that real strength is found in the growth that comes after the breakdown. So thank you, Raquel and Regina, for creating this space to get honest about what resilience actually looks like. This combo was medicine.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That was like, thank you. Thank you for that, because they took all of what we just said.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I love about having a conversation. This is why we love you guys, because Raquel can reframe what I'm saying. I can reframe what she's saying. And this LinkedIn user who we don't know who you are reframes it. That even for me was medicine, right? Took the grit and grace can coexist, right? Hard stuff of instead of just surviving, and really get honest about ourselves and really that resilience, what it really looks like. Ellen just
what's interesting?
Oh, go ahead.
Before we go forward, what that listener and viewer said comes down to growth, because that's what's going to happen after all of that. Our tagline for this month is, it's not just grit, it's growth, because that's what happens. That's just like a natural progression of it all. So I absolutely love that. Thank you so much for that. That was amazing.
And no, this is what the show is about. It's rise and thrive together. Raquel and I could talk all day long. Like, it's what
I've done it, y'all. I had a 5-hour lunch with somebody 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Just saying.
And this is what we do, right? But this is for you guys, right? We come up with the topics, we bring some people in, but this is for you because you have been so, you're ready. You're ready to have the life you want and have that now. Ellen jumps in and says, sometimes we finally reach our goals. We can get too complacent and give up on the good work that gets us where we need to be. I do not take my goals for granted. I am grateful to be where I am and never want to go back to that place of fear that I wouldn't be good. Right? So yes, I am totally relating to what everybody's saying. There was the laziness, there was complacency, excuses. Bottom line, like Diane said, I think let's just make it real and simple. Excuses. And that took its toll. And boom. You know what I just got from reading Ellen's, and thank you so much for everyone, not being present. So inside of that whole entire growth that you're saying, what are the things that I can put into place? It was like, I'm not being present. I was just like the robot that did what they did and never checked in, like you said, took that moment, take a breath, breathe, check in on where those feelings are at, see what's happening. It was just go, 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 right? Yeah. It catches up to you. And it's so simple, super simple. And that's what I got from, Ellen and everybody else. And Chrissy is just throwing it in here. Chrissy, we are not doctors, but I do want to throw that out there for her. So she says she is working with a nutritionist, did well, and then started to get depressed. And it's hard to get motivated again because she can't get rid of those sugar cravings. And oh my goodness, girl.
Wow. Can I make a suggestion, Chrissy? Not being a medical doctor. I've got to remember that. I'm a doctor. I don't pretend to be,
not that doctor.
But just not a medical doctor. Try bone broth. bone broth. When we had Dr. Dan on, when did he come on? Like 2 years ago?
No, he was last year too. He was last year
Oh, it's
too.
time to bring Dr. Dan back.
Yeah.
But Chrissy, bone broth. Go to your supermarket, your local supermarket, your butcher shop, wherever you get your meat, and get the bone with the marrow in it, because that has some healthy properties. And just throw in some vegetables, season it, and drink that. The bone broth cuts the sugar cravings.
Yep.
I know it, not just because Dr. Dan said it, but I used to drink bone broth, and you season it up to your own taste and flavoring. Go make some bone broth. I want you to do it every day, if not twice a day, for like a week or so. Come back on. So next week, Chrissy, get back on here and tell us how that's going. Meaning, I'm holding you accountable for yourself, because we won't be there. That you'll go out tomorrow, no excuses, get the ingredients and make your bone broth and come back and let us know. All right?
She's right, and will do, and thanks. And that's so great, Chrissy, because you and I are in this together, so we can come back next week together. It was that big sugar craving, right? Like big sugar craving. And totally, you want to talk about out of sight, out of mind, sis? I totally forgot about bone broth, right? That was part of like a big part of my life, right? My brother-in-law has shared that with me. Doctors have shared that with me. It is one of Josh's favorite things. And we just were talking about like what some of the things we are missing that we haven't done. And we were like, there's something missing. I don't know. Hence why we talk about rise and thrive together in community. Even having a couple, still our mind has many other things. So thanks to that, I can get off the show in a little bit and go to him and be like, bone broth. And that is 100%, I agree with her. And I'm excited to have that. And again, for those who are vegetarians, I get it. There's other things for you. But if you're not, hey, do it. I'm excited. So Chrissy and I'll hold you, Chrissy, as well. That was great. That was super, super, super great.
Well, you can be each other's accountability partner and support. It's amazing, because you can't do this journey alone. You absolutely cannot. Any journey.
And that's exactly what we're going to get into at the end, which is like, what are some tips and strategies, right? So let's take like what we got today, which was like, sis, you said it perfectly. She's like, it is cultivating a growth mindset for a mental fortitude strategy. See, like you said earlier, challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. They're not fixed barriers. So when you're facing a setback, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this to become a better, and I'm going to add in for myself, healthier person? This shifts the focus from the problem to the potential growth.
Yep.
So I'm going to say it again. When you're facing any type of setback, you ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And how can I use this to become a better fill in the blank?
Right.
I'm saying healthier person, because then it shifts that focus from the problem to the potential, like sis was saying, growth. And then lean into what we haven't really gotten into a little bit, but that why. You said it perfectly earlier, Raquel, that grit, and the LinkedIn person that, gives that grit and grace, right? That fuels that long-term commitment. You were saying it like when you were like working out and you get into that end and you kind of like, is your feeling stopping you? Is it, or really that grit is a thing that gets you past? Now, listen, Raquel's not going to sit here and hurt herself. She already knows she's got something going on with her shoulder, but she is willing to move past something to strengthen what she needs to strengthen, not hurt. And if it hurts, she's going to stop, right? So it is to connect to that core purpose to fuel that long-term commitment. So what is your why? Why you might be like doing what you're doing, like my why, like I said about this new health thing for me, which I heard that number. I was like, what? I see my doctor, by the way, guys, on August 20th. I'm clear. She's going to say you're on borderline diabetic. I'm clear, right?
I feel like doctors say that to everybody.
I do, but like they say about
is that like your thing?
Yeah,
Hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so. You are borderline
borderline
diabetic.
diabetic.
Cut it
But
out.
you know when they say when you're close to 300, right?
Yeah.
So that why is for me, right? That why is a living a long and vibrant life, to be there for my family and, to literally be there for the community, to really just continue to empower and educate, because we want the life that we want. And that is my commitment to you guys as well, right? So that's
I
like,
love it.
get into that grit. And then the other one was what you said earlier, which is why we were asking when you heard about that emotional piece, that emotional regulation. How do we manage our emotional responses to those setbacks or those things that don't turn out the way we want them to? Right. So Chrissy was talking about depression, right? That depression, that sugar craving got into her depression, that got her out of the motivation, right? So we can react, from a like despair, right? You said it perfectly, sis. Take a pause and plan. So for me, I was like, okay, I've got the cholesterol diagnosis. I took the rest of this day before I even got here. There was nothing else. I had other things to do, guys. I took the rest of the day to just be with those feelings and emotions. I talked to Josh about it, I talked to my doctor about it, and I spent time alone when he went to go get Lexi. And then through that, I allowed it to go through it. I took a deep breath. I connected to my why. And that's when I started doing some research and coming up with the 7-day, meal plan. And that's what we're doing, this healthy meal plan, including bone broth. So
Absolutely.
that's just proactive control rather than reacting to the emotional response. So those are some of the tips I just kind of wanted to share with you. Because trust me, I'm a reactive person and I'm not perfect, but I was there. It
She
was
is.
I am. I react. Ooh. But it was great. I was with my doctor and she saw my face and I felt safe. I love her. That's another thing, guys. I just think, and sis, I think that finding that right doctor, that right person, she is
Hmm.
just so great. She said it with such grace. It wasn't like I've had other doctors that were like, your cholesterol's high. Da, da, da. She did not force me on a statin. She understood that I'm one of those more holistic people. She had asked me, oh, I see in your notes that you took Lipitor. It didn't work for you. How do you feel about? She was explaining to me about some new drug that was on there. And she said, and I'm not telling you to take it. I want you to take this information. I want you to sit with it. She gave me something to read. And she goes, and then I want you to discuss it with your doctor. And you choose.
But what she gave, Reg, was a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So no matter what it is, for Reg, it's her health. For you, it may be a goal. It may be weight loss. It may be getting another job. It may be writing that book. It may be getting your license to open up a practice. Whatever it is, you have to have a plan in place, right? And that plan may not go as you planned it. What is that going to mean about you? What are you going to make that mean about you? Right? Because then that'll either push you, get grit where you dig deep down and you're like, I'm going to do this no matter what. I know I have to sacrifice something. And are you willing to sacrifice something to get what you want?
Ooh.
That is going to separate those with grit from those with, you can fill in the blank. It
No
can
grit.
rhyme with grit. It could rhyme with something else, but it's all on you, right? So we are going to continue this conversation throughout the month of August. Stay with us. We've got folks in different fields that'll be coming on to talk about mental fortitude and what it takes when you're in a certain situation. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. I think it flows nicely from setbacks, because we learned last month setback is a setup for a comeback. And now we're dealing with mental fortitude, because that fits nicely in order for you to understand that a setback is only a setup for you to come back stronger and better than you were. Any last minute pearls?
We got some, our LinkedIn user, because your name doesn't come up. It says when they're about to have an emotional response, they count to 5 to give a minute to refocus. And And Ellen turns around and says,
Nice.
thank you so much for tonight. Big heart.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellen. We appreciate your
Commitment.
insight just
Yeah.
as much. And I love the part about fear. We just didn't have enough time to talk about that, but I definitely want to talk about that as we go on through this month, about the role that fear plays when you're working on that grit in order to get to growth. Because fear plays a role, just determines your mindset, how you see fear. Right? So, but thank you all. You guys were so active tonight. This is so amazing, so awesome, and such a timely conversation is what we're having. But we want you all to know we cannot do it alone, but together we can rise and thrive. Till next time.